If Chicago and the suburbs were a country, we would have one of the 25 largest economies in the entire world. But the world is changing. Hello, everyone. I'm Robin Robinson.
And I'm political editor Mike Flannery. Our job market and economic landscape are changing with the force of an economic earthquake.
Some of the problems we did not create. There are new national and global realities.
Other problems are vintage Chicago and Illinois.
Pension payment or a police officer, a pension payment or a parks program.
Everyone's bills are higher than ever, yours and mine personally, and our government's. And the money to pay those bills is not coming in like it used to. For a long time, we were moving in the wrong direction. A global economic policy group says that since the turn of the millennium, the economy here has been, quote, disappointing. It conducted a study, finding that Chicago is indeed at a tipping point. From 2000 to 2010, the Chicago area's employment rate dropped 4 times faster than the national average. Since 1995, our unemployment rate has been higher than the average U.S. metro region. This August, the national unemployment rate was 7.3%. In Chicago, it was 9.4%. Overall, Illinois unemployment was 9.2%, second worst in the country. Only Nevada had more unemployment. Mayor Emanuel took office in 2011. His economic development team says Chicago has struggled to adapt to new global economic realities. Its plan to turn things around includes a focus on attracting advanced manufacturing, business headquarters and business services, transportation and logistics operations, and tourism and entertainment. Another goal is to provide support for entrepreneurs building new businesses from the ground up. Ahead, the road to recovery is literally a road, plus the good-paying jobs available right here, right now, lots of them. This is Chicago at the Tipping Point, a Fox 32 News special report about jobs and the economy. Chicago traffic is not just annoying, it's a tangible economic threat. A goal for job creation is to efficiently move goods and people. This is part of why City Hall has worked to expand bicycle riding and why it did not flinch at raising downtown parking garage taxes. Mass transit is a big part of the solution. The CTA has been upgrading trains, tracks, and buses, but it and Metra need more upgrades than they have the money to pay for. Signal, switch, and equipment failures reduce reliability. It's taking commuters too long to get to their jobs. A study found even among those who live close to transit stations, only 25% are able to get to work within 90 minutes. Upgrading infrastructure is a huge project. It takes state and federal money. Well, our state is all but broke, and the federal money basically dried up once the stimulus cash stopped flowing. There are some good-paying jobs with great benefits available in surplus right now in Chicago. Companies with more openings than they can fill. Sounds good if you're looking for employment, but it also points out a problem. A workforce that does not have the skills these job creators in the new economy need. Lisa Chavarria reports on efforts to make sure more people are prepared to work in places like this. In such a segregated city, that big disparity between black and white unemployment concentrates a whole host of problems in certain communities. Poverty and crime, the violence we've been seeing. An attempt to do something to help those neighborhoods led to a big political battle a few years ago, and former Mayor Richard Daley did something he had never done before. So how has that worked out? Music chart toppers like Lil' Kim used to make a point to stop on Chicago's West Side years ago, mingling with their fans at George's Music Room, one of several businesses where people in North Lawndale could shop and work.
We had the Red Rooster, big supermarket on the corner. Right where the Legion Hall is, that was a men's haberdashery. There was a furniture reupholstery store.
There were even parking meters on this stretch of Roosevelt Road, where today the street is wide open, most storefronts are closed tight, not a job prospect in sight.
I'm mad at why this community had to turn into what it turned into.
The real money is leaving the community.
Where is it going?
Well, it's going outside the community. It's going into the suburbs because we didn't have the stores that were conducive to the working class people going to shop.
Miles away in the far south side Roseland neighborhood, Alderman Anthony Beal still has a commercial strip, but it's been a challenge.
Milk that expires in 2 days, they would sell it to you. Meat that is about to expire or had expired, and they're changing the expiration date on the meat.
Beal says the stores needed competition, better options for his residents. They got both in a big box.
So start from the top and work all the way down.
At the newest of 9 Walmarts to open in Chicago since 2006, store manager Daryl Bowles sees nothing but opportunity.
My favorite part was seeing my associates and how proud they were about opening up the store, and then seeing the excitement of the customers and how they love Walmart being in the community.
Walmart didn't always feel the love here. Unions and other critics fought to keep the retailer and its hundreds of non-union jobs out of Chicago. In 2006, the city council even passed an ordinance to make big box stores like Walmart pay much higher minimum wages than their competitors. It's the only thing Mayor Richard M. Daley ever had to veto, saying it couldn't be just about Walmart.
There's only certain locations you can build these large retail, and we need it. Whether JCPenney's, whether Target, Home Depot, you could go on and name them.
The veto gave aldermen political cover, and there was the rising tide of jobless Chicagoans, with Walmart willing to build in communities where the working poor had become just poor.
This created a lot of jobs for people in the community, and that's what's most important.
Good morning and welcome to Walmart.
Since the first store opened in the Austin neighborhood, Beal has been waiting years for people in his far South Side ward to get theirs.
I made a plea to my colleagues in the city council. Some of my colleagues have 4 and 5 grocery stores in their area. I didn't have any. My community has the highest crime rate. We have the highest cancer rate, the highest diabetes rate, the highest unemployment rate, the highest foreclosure rate. But we're not entitled to a good paying job and good produce and things like that in my community.
Good paying job? Some would argue that. Retail, especially discount or low-end retail, is considered a low-wage industry, along with hospitality. And that's part of Chicago's problem with the current economic recovery, the quantity of jobs versus the quality. Cities that are really getting healthier are gaining more mid-wage jobs.
Houston, Texas. A city built on innovative thinking.
Houston leads the pack with double-digit gains in the energy sector last year, the kind of jobs that build the all-important middle class. Compare that to Chicago, where most of the growth is in low-wage industries, and the number of mid-wage jobs has declined 7.6% since 2006. But people like Anthony Harris are not studying those numbers.
You got to do the work to get a bigger pay, because everybody always want to jump in and be the biggest fish in the water, but you do not start like that. You got to learn before you walk.
The father of 2 is counting on his work ethic to fatten his paycheck.
Well, I was at the Walmart on 103rd and Harlem. That was my first starting get-go. And from there, I got transferred over to here to come up to be a supervisor.
Oh, so you're moving up?
Yes, ma'am.
We fought for Walmart to pay a higher wage than they're paying anywhere else in the country. And so we put a community benefits agreement in place.
That agreement includes hiring more than half of the 400 employees from the neighborhood.
It's a major upgrade, and I'm happy, I'm proud.
Upgrade in pay too?
Yeah, as well. Pay, hours, and it's closer to home.
It's also opened the door for the first manufacturing company coming into the area, a company called Method. They're based out of Europe. They're having their distribution center right here in the 9th Ward, and we broke ground on them last month. And that's creating about 120 good paying jobs starting at $65,000 and up.
The hope is neighborhoods that have been passed over for years as too scary or too poor to support business may now be looked at as emerging markets ripe for development. So, Mike, I know you asked Mayor Emanuel if he thought Chicago was going to be the next Detroit, and I'm sure I can imagine what his answer was.
Quote, no way. But Robin, he does concede that those huge unfunded liabilities for public employee pensions are a flashing red warning light.
Certainly at the top of the fix-it list. We've talked a lot about the world changing, but there's one trend that could actually work in Chicago's favor. A major global urbanization is underway. By the year 2030, 60% of the world's population are projected to be living in cities. The migration is expected to turbocharge world economic growth. We have a chance to be one of the engines. In the next 12 years, the Chicago region is projected to be the only region in America that grows into a mega city, joining New York and LA. A mega city is a metropolitan area with more than 10 million people.
That kind of density packs immense opportunity, but also, Robin, big challenges. We've got to find the money to fix the infrastructure that we need to repair. We've also got to find environmentally sensitive ways to protect our resources and deal deal with waste products, not to mention all those other big city problems of violent crime, failing schools, and of course unemployment.
And experts say if the whole region's going to win, then cities and states have to find the political will to cooperate with one another. We couldn't get all this into 1/2 hour, so we've put some links on myfoxchicago.com to the economic research we used in this special. Also there you will find some strategies for your job search. We hope you find it helpful.
In the coming months, Fox 32 News will dig deep into other major problems that face Chicago and the region.
Because that's what we do. We are committed to finding the issues and the solutions to the things that put Chicago at the tipping point.